Word processing software is a key tool in the electronic office. It saves you time because it automates drafting, revising, and printing of documents. WordPerfect is one of the best-selling software packages. It has about 30% of the word processing market.
Our goal is to give you a working knowledge of WordPerfect so you can use it for everyday documents.
We've condensed about half your software manual into this tape. After viewing it, your manual will be much easier to follow. We don't cover every nut and bolt. Instead, we'll present the features you need to be productive quickly. The material in this tape is divided into 3 major segments. The first segment shows how to prepare the software. In the second segment, we describe how to draft documents with WordPerfect. Finally, the techniques for revising and editing are presented. The subjects of page design, style, and mail merge will be covered in our advanced tape on WordPerfect.
Our computer system is a PCXT compatible with dual floppy disk drive, a hard disk drive, and a printer. Its operating system is MS-DOS version 3.3. We assume you know how to use DOS.
My job is explaining the concepts and features of WordPerfect.
And my job is demonstrating the commands and procedures.
I suggest you first view this tape in its entirety, then review each subject and try the demonstrations.
Together, Diane and I will provide you computer literacy in an easy-to-learn way.
Our viewers are ready, Ed, so let's get started.
We have several items of preparation to do before we can print documents. Make sure you have the required hardware and software. Your software manual should list these. In particular, 384 KB of memory are required to run the program. Also, a graphics card is needed to see text enhancement and review documents. The software is shipped on several master disks. These include the WordPerfect program disks 1 and 2.
Be sure to apply Write Protect tabs over the square notches of the masters.
The software configuration will depend on what type of disk your system has. For a hard disk system, the C drive holds the program and documents in a subdirectory of the root directory. For a dual floppy disk system, the A drive is used for the program disk and the B drive is used for a document disk. The B drive is also used for the spell checker and thesaurus. The 2 major items of preparation are installing and starting the software. For hard disk systems, use the following installation procedures.
Start your computer, enter the date and the time, and get the C prompt. Make a subdirectory with the name WP. Then change to that subdirectory. Insert the WordPerfect 1 master disk into drive A. Type copy, a space, then A, colon, asterisk dot asterisk, another space, C, colon, backslash, WP, and press enter. This copies the files from the master into the subdirectory.
Also, copy the WordPerfect 2 master and the Speller and Thesaurus masters into the subdirectory. Then, make working copies of the remaining master disks as follows.
Change the default drive to A. Insert one of the remaining masters into drive A. Use the disk copy command with the A drive as the source and the B drive as the destination. Then follow the directions on the screen. Be sure to label the working copy when done. Repeat the copy operation for each remaining master disk. Now get the C prompt again.
The DOS file config.sys has to be changed to handle WordPerfect's disk usage.
Console input is the quickest way to change it. Type copy, a space, and C:// config dot sys plus con. Then type another space and repeat the full directory and file name. And finally, press enter. Wait until the word con appears and press enter again. Now type the line files equals 20 and enter. This sets the number of files which can be opened. Also type buffers equals 20 and press enter. This will speed up disk operations. To terminate input, press the Ctrl and Z keys at the same time, followed by the Enter key. The DOS prompt will reappear and the updated file will be in the root directory.
The updates won't have any effect until the computer is restarted.
Make sure the A drive is empty. Restart the computer by pressing Ctrl, Alt, and Delete at the same time. Re-enter the date and the time.
It's time to start the software.
Change to the WordPerfect subdirectory with the same command as before. Type WP and press enter.
For dual floppy systems, we need to make working copies of all master disks and change the config.sys file.
Put the MS-DOS disk into drive A. Start the computer and enter the date and the time and get the A prompt. Once again, use the disk copy command with A and B as the source and destination, respectively. Insert the WordPerfect One Master into drive A and a blank disk into B. Press enter to start the copy. Label the working copy when it's done.
Repeat the disk copy and labeling for all the remaining master disks. The steps to change config.sys are almost the same as before.
Return the DOS working copy to drive A. Type copy, a space, A:// config, a dot, sys plus con. Type another space and repeat the directory and file name. At last, press enter and wait for the word con and press enter a second time. Enter the line files equals 20. Also enter the line buffers equals 20. Press Ctrl and Z at the same time and enter. The updated file will be on the DOS working copy.
The WordPerfect startup procedure for a dual floppy system has some extra steps.
Restart the computer by pressing Ctrl, Alt, and Delete at the same time. And enter the date and time.
That restart was needed so that updates of config.sys will take effect.
Replace the DOS disk in drive A with the WordPerfect 1 working copy. Also, put a formatted document disk in B. Type B: and enter to change the default drive to B. Type A:WP and press enter. This starts WordPerfect. The title screen appears with the prompt to replace the disk in drive A. Insert the WordPerfect 2 working copy into drive A. This disk must remain in A while using WordPerfect. Press any key and the blank editing screen soon appears, ready for use. Place the keyboard template over the function keys.
The blinking rectangle is the cursor. It's used for text entry and editing. The edit screen has a status line to show document-related items. At this point, we must choose default settings to customize WordPerfect. After you start WordPerfect, the first time, be sure to define and select the printer. Defining the printer tells WordPerfect what kind of printer is connected to the computer. Selecting a printer enables it for use.
Press Shift and F7 at the same time to get the main print menu. Then press S for the Select Printer screen. Here is the list of printers currently defined. Obviously, you must add your printer to the list. Type the number 2 for additional printer names. An error message should appear because the printer files are not present. Insert the Printer 1 working copy in a disk drive. And type 2, the disk drive name, and enter. When the additional printer names appear, examine them to find yours. If your printer is not on the list, replace the Printer 1 copy with another printer disk. Our printer name is on the Printer 3 disk. Again, type 2, the disk drive name, and enter. Move the highlight with the arrow keys then type the number 1 and press enter.
WordPerfect stores information about the printer in a file in the default directory.
It also displays suggestions for that printer. After 20 seconds or so, press the exit key, F7, and the printer settings are shown. Accept them by pressing enter. The Select Printer screen reappears with the newly defined printer in the list. Make sure the highlight is on your printer name and press enter twice. The printer is now selected.
Printer definition and selection only need to be done when you add or change printers or change printer port. The remaining default settings are selected from the Setup menu.
Press Shift and F1 at the same time to get the main Setup menu.
The video display type must be set correctly.
Press 3 to get the screen display options.
The graphic screen option should match the video display hardware for your system.
If not, press 5 to get a list of video display choices. Move the highlight with the arrow keys to the correct choice for your system. Press Enter to select it. Then press the Enter key again to return to the main setup menu.
The units of measurement should be changed to lines and columns if you have a dot matrix or letter quality printer.
Press 8 for the units of measurement options. Type the number 1 and a U, then type 2 and the letter U. Of course, the Enter key returns us to the main setup menu.
The next default is the location for the auxiliary files for the speller and thesaurus.
Type 7 to get the location options and 4 for the speller directory. For hard disk systems, type the path name C:/WP and press Enter. For dual floppy disk systems, type the path name B: and press Enter. Now press 8 for the thesaurus location. For hard disk systems, use the same path name as before. For dual floppy disk systems, type the B drive path name again. Press F7 to exit the setup menu and restore the editing screen.
The settings remain in effect until you change them again with the setup menu.
To cancel a function key command or back out of a menu, press the F1 key.
That finishes preparation. We're ready to write documents.
At this point, we'll stop to preview the next segment about creating a draft document.
You'll learn how to enter text and move the cursor.
Following that, we explain filing operations and how to print your documents. Let's begin our study of making draft documents.
In this subject, we present the fundamentals of creating a document. As soon as the WordPerfect edit screen appears, it's ready to accept text.
To create a new document, just start typing, and the characters appear at the cursor position. It's that simple. Start a new line by pressing Enter and continue typing. For a blank line, press Enter a second time after ending the line.
The inside address and salutation are typed the same way. Long lines of text are handled differently. As the text reaches the right margin, WordPerfect starts a new line automatically. This is called word wrap. So for long sentences and paragraphs, you just keep typing and let WordPerfect handle the right margin.
Press Enter key to end a paragraph and start a new line. Of course, press Enter again for a blank line. To repeat a character, hold down its key and the character will be typed until the key is released. Holding down a non-printing key has the same action. For instance, backspace will erase the characters until it's released. If the Enter key is held down, blank lines appear until the key is released.
When the edit screen gets full, the top lines disappear and the remaining lines are moved up. This is called scrolling because it's similar to the movement of a scroll of paper past a window. Now, we'll look at more efficient ways to move the cursor. The numeric keypad on the right side of the keyboard contains several keys which are used to move the cursor.
The down arrow key moves the cursor down one line, while the up arrow key moves it up one line. The right arrow key moves the cursor one character to the right, and the left arrow key does the opposite. Press the End key to move the cursor to the end of a line. Press Home, followed by the left arrow to move the cursor to the beginning of the line. Press Home, followed by the up arrow to move it to the top of the edit screen. If you press Home, followed by the down arrow, the cursor moves to the bottom.
Manual scrolling is another form of cursor control. Use it to move the edit screen and see different parts of the document. Here are some scrolling controls. The Page Up key scrolls the edit screen upward one screen full of text. The Page Down key does the same thing in the opposite direction. Press Home twice, followed by up arrow to scroll all the way to the start of the document. Correspondingly, pressing Home twice, then the down arrow key scrolls to the end of the document. Use cursor control to add text anywhere in the document. Just move the cursor to where you want the text and begin typing.
Here's an example. Move the cursor between two paragraphs and press Enter to start a new paragraph. Add the new text. When the paragraph is done, press Enter to end the paragraph and insert a blank line.
Diane will type some extra text for demonstrations later on. There are shortcuts to speed up cursor movement.
Pressing Control and the right arrow at the same time moves the cursor one word to the right. Of course, Control and the left arrow do the same thing towards the left. The Escape key is used to repeat an operation. For example, press Escape, then the right arrow, and the cursor moves 8 characters to the right. Pressing Escape, then the up arrow, moves the cursor 8 lines up.
We are finished with this subject, and it's time to move on. Now, we present the commands used to file and print documents. The two basic filing operations are saving and retrieving. The Save command stores a copy of the document on the disk. The document remains on screen for additional work.
Simply press the F10 key, and a file name prompt appears on the status line. This prompt appears the first time you save a document. Type the complete file name, including an extension, and press Enter.
The document is saved into the default directory.
Wait for the file name to appear on the left side of the status line.
Then continue working on the document. Of course, a WordPerfect file name must follow DOS rules. A maximum of 8 characters for the name. plus a maximum of 3 characters for the extension. It's also a good idea to have a consistent set of extensions. Letters could have an extension of LET, and so on. WordPerfect has certain reserved file extensions. Always avoid using them for your documents. Veteran users save their work every 15 minutes or so in case of power failure.
To save the same document again, press F10 and enter. A prompt to replace the previous copy appears on the status line. Press Y and the save commences. When you're done working on a document, a similar procedure is used to save it and clear the screen. Press the F7 key to exit the document. A file save prompt appears. Type Y, enter, and Y if you've made changes since the last save. Another prompt appears to exit WordPerfect. Press N to stay in WordPerfect and clear the screen.
You're ready to start a new document. The list file command can be used to retrieve a document from the disk. Diane will demonstrate the easy way to retrieve the document just saved.
Press the F5 or List Files key. Press Enter, and the screen is filled with file names from the current directory. Use the arrow keys to move the highlight to the file you want. In this case, it's short.let. Press the number 1 to start the retrieve.
The document is read from disk into memory and displayed on the monitor. There is a separate retrieve command, but it requires you to type the complete file name. The list files command is easier to use because you can see all the file names at a glance. The list files command also has options to do the file management functions you ordinarily do in MS-DOS. At some point, the draft document should be printed. WordPerfect has useful and productive features for printing. The print protection features make it almost impossible for printing problems to damage your document. The document to be printed is copied into a temporary file on disk. Printing is done from the temporary file, so any problems don't affect the original. The temporary file is automatically erased when printing is done. Before you start printing, load the paper properly. When the printer is turned on, WordPerfect assumes the print head is at the top of the page.
Turn on the printer and put it online.
Diane will show us how to print a document that's on the screen.
Press Shift and F7 at the same time to get the print menu. Type the number 1 to print the full document. The document starts printing shortly after.
While the copy is being printed, you can continue working on the original. This is better than waiting for a long document to finish printing before continuing work. It's also possible to print a document directly from disk without retrieving it to the screen. The easiest way of doing it involves the list files command.
Press F5 and enter to get a list of file names in the current directory. Use the arrow keys to move the highlight to the file name short.let. Press the number 4 and enter. The document starts printing. Press F7 to return to the editing screen.
After starting to print from disk, you can continue working on the document already on the screen. There is a separate command in the print menu to print from disk, but it requires the complete file name. The list files command is easier to use because it shows the file names. It isn't necessary to save every document before printing, otherwise your work disk will become cluttered. For documents of short-term value, print them from the screen. Then use the exit key to clear the screen and start a new document. It's time to review the major points about filing and printing. The save command stores a document on the disk. The retrieve command calls up a document from the disk. WordPerfect has commands for doing both screen prints and disk prints. Once again, we'll stop to preview the next segment. This one is about revising and editing documents.
WordPerfect has several commands to edit text. They include delete, move, and copy.
Another feature is the block command. It lets you manipulate large segments of text very easily.
Of course, a word processor also has commands to format the text. They control its appearance on the printed page.
Each of these subjects will be explained in detail, so let's get going. The greatest benefit of a word processor is the ability to revise a document without retyping the entire thing. Editing actions such as deleting text and moving text only take a few keystrokes. In this subject, you'll master the commands used most often for editing. Deleting text is one of the most basic functions in a word processor. We've already seen how the backspace key erases characters.
Another way to delete single characters is the delete key. Just move the cursor to the character to be deleted and press the delete key. The character disappears and the remaining text fills the gap. To delete a word, press Ctrl and backspace at the same time. The word at the cursor vanishes and the remaining text is reformatted.
Larger segments of text can also be deleted with a few keystrokes. Diane will show us how to delete a sentence.
Move the cursor to any place in the sentence to be deleted. Press Ctrl and F4 at the same time. A segment size menu appears in the status line. Press the number 1 to select the sentence. Another menu appears showing editing actions. Press 3 and the highlighted text vanishes. Notice that the size menu also has paragraphs and pages, so you can delete these segment sizes too.
WordPerfect has a very handy feature called the undelete command. It's a safety mechanism which restores accidental deletions.
For example, to restore the sentence, just delete it. Start by pressing the F1 key to get the undeleted menu. The deleted sentence temporarily appears at the cursor location. Press 1 and the sentence is restored to the document.
As extra protection, WordPerfect saves the last 3 deletions. Diane will restore the word deleted a while ago.
Move the cursor back to the place where the word was. Press F1 followed by 2 to get the second previous deletion on the screen. Press 1 and the word is restored to the document.
The move command is the electronic equivalent of cut and paste. It's nothing more than deleting text from one place and inserting it in another.
Here's a demo of moving an entire sentence. Put the cursor any place in the sentence to be moved. Press Ctrl and F4 at the same time to get the Move menu. The segment size menu appears again. This time, press 1 for the Move option, and the sentence vanishes. A prompt appears to relocate the cursor. And press Enter. When you do, the sentence appears at the new location.
Almost the same procedure is used to copy text.
Move the cursor any place in the text to be copied. For example, we'll use this sentence. Once again, press Ctrl and F4 to get the Move menu. Now press the number 1 to select the sentence. In the Editing menu, press 2 to make a copy of the selection.
Note that the original selection remains intact. Once again, a prompt appears to relocate the cursor and press Enter.
When you do so, the copy appears at the new location.
Sentences, paragraphs, and pages can be copied with these simple procedures. Now, for a quick recap of basic editing. Edit commands are used to revise a document. The most commonly used edit commands are delete, move, and copy. Use the undelete command to restore accidental deletions. Sometimes you'll need to work on a segment of text which spans several words, sentences, or paragraphs. For instance, you may need to move a group of paragraphs to another place in the document. They can be moved one at a time, but that's time-consuming. A more efficient way is the block command. The paragraphs can be selected with the block command and then moved in a single operation. A block is simply a large segment of text which can be manipulated in a single operation. Here's an example of a block delete. 2 sentences will be deleted.
The first step is selecting the text block. Move the cursor to the beginning of the sentences. Press Alt and the F4 key at the same time to activate the block command. A notice appears in the status line that the block command is active. Move the cursor to the end of the second sentence with the arrow keys. As the cursor moves, the text between its original position and current position is highlighted. The text block is now completely selected. The second step is typing the command which works on the block. In our case, that's the delete command. Press the delete key and a confirmation prompt appears. This prevents accidental deletions. Type a Y to proceed with the deletion. The block vanishes. Not very difficult.
A text block can range in size from 1 character to several pages. The block command is always used with another command. It makes the text segment ready for the second command. So, for any block operation, first, select the text with the block command. Then, type the command which works on the block. In this demonstration, 2 paragraphs will be moved.
Move the cursor to the beginning of the paragraph. Press the Alt F4 key combination for the block command. Move the cursor to the end of the paragraph to completely select them. Use the Control and F4 key combination to invoke the Move menu. Type the number 1 to indicate the segment size is a block. Press 1 again for the Move option, and the block vanishes.
A prompt appears to relocate the cursor and press Enter.
Move the cursor down and press Enter. The block appears at the new location.
Obviously, the block command is a powerful editing tool. Here are some other uses for it. You can reorganize a document with block moves. To print only a part of a document, use the block command before the print command. Make large-scale format changes by formatting blocks. The block command can be used with most other commands. Check the manual for a complete list.
I have 2 final tips for using the block command. If you select a block and decide to cancel it, just press Alt and F4 a second time instead of typing another command. The undelete key also works with blocks. Move the cursor to the block's former location. The F1 or cancel key gets the undelete menu. The deleted block temporarily appears on the screen at the cursor location. Press 1 and the block is restored.
be sure to remember the following key points about block operations. The subject of formatting involves the placement and appearance of text on the printed page. WordPerfect has a wealth of format options. We'll show you the ones most commonly used. Before doing so, we need to discuss WordPerfect's default page layout. The default page size is 8.5 inches wide by 11 inches long. The default margin is 1 inch on all 4 sides. Your text will be printed in the rectangular area defined by these defaults. These defaults can be changed, but they are acceptable for ordinary word processing. Paragraph alignment is the horizontal placement of text between the left and right margins. For example, right justified text is aligned on both edges. It's meant for formal documents.
To get right justification, start by moving the cursor to the beginning of the document. Press the Shift and F8 keys at the same time to get the Format menu. Type a 1 for the line option, then type a 3 for the justification option. Type a Y to select right justification. Finally, press F7 to exit the menu and return to the editing screen.
The editing screen doesn't show right justified text due to technical limitations, so use the View command.
Press Shift and F7 together to get the print menu. Then type a 6 for the View command and a 1 for 100% magnification. A picture of how the printed page will look appears.
The text on both sides will have a smooth edge from justification. When the right justification is turned off, the text has a ragged right edge. This is suitable for informal documents. Here are 2 demonstrations of another alignment option, centered text.
To center a single line, first move the cursor to the start of the line. Press Shift and F6 keys down at the same time. Then press the down arrow. The line is centered. To center a block of text, such as a list, first select it with the block command, Alt F4. Press the Shift and F6 keys. A prompt appears for confirmation. Type a Y, and the block is centered.
Paragraph indentation options allow text to be indented without changing the margins.
To indent a single paragraph, move the cursor to the first character of the paragraph. Then press F4, followed by the down arrow. The left edge of the paragraph is indented 1 tab stop.
2 steps are needed to format a hanging paragraph.
Indent it with the F4 and down arrow keys as we just saw. Move the cursor to the start of the paragraph. Then use the margin release by pressing the Shift and Tab keys at the same time. The first line is outdented to the normal margin.
Text enhancement refers to changing the appearance of the characters. Attributes such as font style and font size can be changed.
To illustrate, I'll select this paragraph with the block command, and then press the F8 key to underline it. Enhancing the text with boldface is done in the same way using the F6 key.
Bold facing and underline are done so often, function keys are reserved for them. For other enhancements, the font menu must be used, as we'll see now.
Select a word with the block command. And press Ctrl and F8 at the same time. The font menu appears in the status line. Type 2 for the appearance submenu. Type the number of the enhancement you want. For italics, I'll type 4. Depending on your monitor's capabilities, you may have to use the View command to see enhancements. Press Shift and F7 at the same time. Type a 6 for the View command. Note that 100% magnification remains in effect from the last time.
There's the word Diane just rendered in italics.
Press F7 to return to the editing screen.
Anytime you format or enhance text, WordPerfect puts special hidden codes in the document. For instance, when this word was italicized, the codes for italic font were inserted before and after it. These codes aren't shown on the normal editing screen. In order to remove certain formats and enhancements, you have to delete their hidden codes with the Reveal Codes command.
Press Alt and F3 at the same time and the screen is split into two windows. The top has the ordinary text and the bottom shows the text plus hidden codes in square brackets. Move the cursor in the lower window to either hidden code for the italicized word. Press the Delete key and both hidden codes for the word are removed. When done, press Alt and F3 again to restore the normal editing screen.
The underlining has been restored to the formerly italicized word. There are several things to remember about formatting. Format commands control the placement and appearance of text. This includes paragraph alignment, indentation, and text enhancements. WordPerfect's default page layout can be used for ordinary documents. In order to remove certain formats and enhancements, delete their hidden codes.
When you're ready to quit WordPerfect, press the Exit key. Press Y, Enter, and Y to save the document if changes were made since the last save. A prompt appears to exit WordPerfect. Press Y. The DOS prompt will reappear.
That wraps it up. You now know enough to use WordPerfect productively.
With this knowledge, you can write everyday documents on your computer.
If you're looking for our advanced tape on WordPerfect, which will explain page design, styles, mail merge, and macros,